Hey, Captain Chris Myers, Orlando Fly Casting Lessons, and welcome to another one of my instructional videos. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to get all my instructional fly casting and regular fishing videos. Today we're going to talk about the grip of the fly rod, and more specifically how hard we're gripping it. It's extremely important, and I see it come up as an issue in a lot of my personal fly casting lessons. And what I recommend to my clients is that you hold this rod just like it's a little baby bird's egg. So you want to hold it so gentle that if it were an egg, you wouldn't be crushing it. As soon as you start squeezing, or you see your fingernails turning white, this is tight, and now I no longer have a nice smooth acceleration. So why are some reasons people would do that? Is one, because of the manner in which they're gripping the rod. I recommend that you hold your rod with your thumb on top and that the cork stays between you and your target. So if I was casting at the camera, whether either I'm casting sidearm, 3/4, or all the way over the top, that cork is between my thumb. That's all my pressure going forward is with my thumb. Pressure pulling back is with my finger. So I can actually cast with just 3 fingers on the rod. Try that out for yourself. See if you can make a cast with just 3 fingers without the rod flying out of your hand. If you're casting way too hard, you're going to have a death grip on this thing in order for the rod not to fly out of your hand. The secondary reason I see people having to grip the rod so hard is because they are unable to stop the rod as it's going back with the grip that they're using. If I'm using an offset grip, or if I'm using a finger on top grip, it's a lot easier for this rod to move. The rod moves easily unless I really squeeze these fingers and push with this finger. Now the rod doesn't move anymore. If I have an offset grip, the rod moves easily. So as I make my back cast, I go to stop. Instead of the rod stopping, it wants to continue moving down towards the ground, opening my loop and causing a problem on the back cast. If I have my thumb here, without my fingers there, I really don't even have to push that hard. Just my thumb, the bone structure of that thumb will keep that rod from moving. Wrap these around here light. I put very little forward pressure with my thumb here. This part of my thumb goes right into that well. These 2 points are 99% of my pressure when I'm casting. I do not have to have a hard grip. The rod doesn't keep going anywhere and it doesn't force me to tighten up everything else in my casting system. So we're using from here down to here, sometimes our whole body in our casting system, but it has to have the ability to make a nice fluid speed up and stop. It can't be a 1, 2, 1, 2. And when we have that death grip on that rod, not only can you usually hear the rod moving, you can feel that right away in your forearm, your upper arm, and your hand. I'm going to show you what that looks like. If you think that's happening to you, relax your grip, cast with 2 fingers, see how much that will improve your cast. All right, we're going to talk about 2 different grips for casting. And by grip, I don't mean how you're holding it in your hand in position. I mean, one is a relaxed grip where you could cast with your last 2 fingers off the rod. You're holding it that gentle. The other grip is the death squeeze, as hard as I can go. It's turning my fingers white, forearms tight, bicep, shoulder all tight. You're going to get 2 completely different results with those casts. One is going to look like you're not even trying. As I flip it up over the top, out over the top, I can let it go, and when I stop my cast, I can let it balance on 1 finger, take all 4 other fingers off. The rod doesn't go anywhere. It just balances on that finger. Once again, I'm going to come up over the top, out. Takes no effort whatsoever, shoots all that line out of there. My other grip is a death squeeze, and generally people who are doing that are casting much harder. They don't want the rod to fall out of their hand. You can see I have no loop. The cast actually landed shorter. It didn't shoot out all my line, and it's going to make my arm really tired real quick. It's a lot of work casting that way. But as long as I have that grip, I can try to cast super gentle, so I'm going to slow it down. Generally, those two things go hand in hand, a really strong grip and really hard casting. Let's try a really strong squeeze and a nice gentle cast. Let's see what it looks like. I'm almost having to use my body to try to get the rod to move because my hand just doesn't want to go anywhere. It doesn't want to travel when I'm squeezing that tight. It wants to stay still. So then we start to creep in more and more wrist because our arm doesn't want to move when we have it squeezed that tight. Relax your grip. It'll allow for a much easier range of motion. You can get into much longer casts, up, back, up. The cast goes out so much nicer, and people are going to look at you and go, that person isn't even trying, and look how far their cast goes, and I'm trying really hard and mine goes nowhere. Generally in fly casting, the harder you try, the shorter the cast is going to be. It just makes your arm tired and makes fly casting not fun. Let's make it more enjoyable. Relax your grip. If you feel any tension or tiredness in your hand, forearm, shoulder, after your practice session or your fishing, you're gripping it way too tight, because we should be able to do this for a long time. It takes very little effort. Could have done that the whole time we were talking, my arm still wouldn't be tired. Where just a handful of casts with the death grip are going to really make it uncomfortable. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you could become a subscriber to my channel. And if you're in the Orlando area, don't hesitate to give me a call. Come see me for a personal fly casting lesson. And if you don't have a fly casting instructor near you, I also offer analysis of your cast on video. Send it to me and try to identify any issues that you have and my best opinion on how you can correct those issues.